আপনারা দেখছেন টকিং পয়েন্ট।
সৌজন্যে মাহবুব এন্ড কো অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টস।
Welcome back. Break jawa aage we were talking to our distinguished guest Anwar Chowdhury about his job in Foreign Office and also about the e-governance you were talking about.
Yes, that was in the Cabinet Office. Yes,
long Cabinet Office,
yes.
long time ago. Now, we want to talk about the British Bangladeshi community in this country. You see, it has been said that UK is not only a country of citizens and community, but it's a community of communities.
Yes.
Because we have people from so many different ethnic, religious and cultural backgrounds.
Yes. Yes.
This is not the only country where Bangladeshis have migrated to.
No.
There are a lot of other countries. There are about 300,000 in India. There are about more than 500,000 working as expatriate workers in the Middle East.
Yes.
A sizable number in Canada. Yes. And in Spain, and now it's a good number increasing Bangladeshis in Italy. See.
In Italy?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
A good
Spain
number,
too.
yes, Spain too, yes, I see. But as far as I know that people in Spain and people in Italy, they don't seem to be happy there. They would rather be in England than elsewhere.
This is because we have a great country.
Is it because the English culture or probably the host community is more accommodative, more broad-minded, more or have connections with the Raj?
I think it's many of those things. I'm very proud of Britain, this country. I think it's one of the best countries in the world. That's why that's one of the reasons why I am a diplomat or I want to be an ambassador. It's because I want to tell the world about the values and the way we live in this country. So I'm, unashamedly proud of this country. And I think it's because we have a culture of tolerance, of understanding other people's point of view, of moderation. We believe in other people's rights, human rights. We've also got a history, which, as you said, I mean, you called it the Raj, but let's call it the wider history, where we had a presence. Yes. Throughout the world. So that obviously leads to a better understanding, I hope. All those reasons combined with a vision of the sort of country we want to be, I think contributes to this great place. But I think all of that shouldn't confuse us in terms of the multiculturalism that people talk about. And I think there is a danger sometimes in confusing understanding and appreciation of other cultures, multiculturalism in that sense, with kind of ghettoizing yourself culturally, something you mentioned earlier, and having kind of little segments of various places from other parts of the world living in the UK, unintegrated, uninterested, may or may not be contributing, unconnected. I don't think that's the view that we should promote. It's great we have.
But we'll continue to have that kind of thing. Like, I mean, even in New York, you will have areas of people from different backgrounds.
Yes.
See, even in this country, like Brixton is known for something,
yes,
and Southall is known for
yes,
something, and
yes,
Ealing is known for something,
yes,
and Marble Arches and
yes,
Edgware Road is known for some other community.
But that's okay. I mean, that's okay. There will be centres where people, naturally start off from a congregate or want to stay because they've been there for a while. That's okay. But it's also important to move on from there. Yeah. And I think the British Bangladeshi community have been moving on, mostly east, but all around. But we're also quite naturally spread because of the restaurants.
Right.
In every village there will be a Bangladeshi family.
Yes.
In this country.
I have found that very handy if I'm lost in a village.
Yeah, go to
the countryside. I just go there, Assalamu alaikum, and I start talking to them in Bengali, and you see the doors open like anything. You see,
they do. And
instead of taking you as a foreigner, as a stranger,
Yes.
they will ask you to sit down and have tea before you leave.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is the great thing about our community. I mean, our community is, I get a biased view because I like our community. But I think it's definitely one of the best in the world. You cannot go to an Indian restaurant and not be fed. They'll not only take you and feed you tea, they'll ask you to eat with them. Okay, you won't get that anywhere else. When I travel around the world, and you're right, there are British Bangladeshis now everywhere. In Italy, I see them. In New York. In New York, when I go to New York, people recognize you because of the media.
Yes.
I don't ever have to pay a taxi fare.
Yes. Most of the taxi drivers are from
Ours,
Bangladesh.
yeah. And they will say, come on, Kodren, and some of them even know your family. They'll ask about the children. I
Yes,
have
I see.
two lovely daughters that people know. I have a son also.
Mashallah.
And my wife is known also. And they will ask about how they are. And I don't know them. I've never met them in my life. In the UN, on the 38th floor, this is a story that I tell some friends sometimes, the executive chef there is a Bangladeshi. And he came out. I was with some very important dignitaries. He came out and he started chatting about Bangladesh, how it was, and he cooked me something special. You won't get that from any other community.
True.
That is exceptional, and we should celebrate that. We should recognize that. And I always mention it to people because people don't always realize that this is quite unique about our people, about the British Bangladeshi community.
We had a very distinguished chef, a celebrity chef, Curry King, Mr. Tommy Mia.
Oh, Tommy, I know, yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And he was telling me similar stories.
Yes, because it's absolutely true. And it's not a matter of, whether you are famous or not. Most Bangladeshi people, if you're a stranger in that country, in that place, will take you in, feed you. And in fact, that's how this community grew in England. Lots of people came to study. Those who had places, homes or restaurants, they took them in. Yeah, this is, when we started talking about Bangladesh and you asked, why is it that people find it so difficult to leave?
Yeah.
Because foreigners get to experience a sort of a linkage and a bond with the people that they haven't seen before. And I think that's what comes over. This is the good thing about it. I mean, we're not a perfect community. We have our problems. But this is a shining
Well, nobody is
shining thing for
perfect.
us.
No community is perfect. But it's the emotional attachment comes out of
And generosity.
Love and affection that people find there. See,
Yes,
they
yes.
experience there. See,
I
they
agree.
don't have to be told "I love you," but they experience it.
Yes.
It's in the behavior of the
Yes,
people.
yes, absolutely.
Don't you think that Bangladeshi community in this country has been involved in the restaurant business for too long? They have moved, yes, see, but we are still, the majority, they are still in there. We are not into farming, we are not into other industries. I mean, there are a couple of other industries, yes, see.
Yes.
They're the big names, like you just mentioned
Yes.
Iqbal Bhai.
Yes.
But we need more to
Absolutely.
move on.
I totally
Move
agree.
on.
But first of all, we must appreciate what our fathers and people before them and the restaurant community now has done for British Bangladeshis.
They have,
If
yeah.
it wasn't for them, we would be so far behind. Every restaurant owner's children has been educated. That wouldn't have been the case if they didn't have the means to do it. We've changed the culture of this country. Multiculturalism is partly about the cuisine of this country.
Right.
Curry
Yes.
is part of multiculturalism. And this is the single-handed contribution of those people. So I am actually very proud of the job that the British Bangladeshi community has done. In fact, I saw a talk by Shashi Tharoor, who is in India, and he was talking about how Britain
He
has...
was the Deputy Secretary General of UN.
Yes, he was. He was Deputy Secretary General, and I think now he's a politician back in India. But quite a distinguished man when he was in the UN, and he is now. But he was talking about Britain, how in fact, he should have said the British Bangladeshi community, but I think he sort of generalized it as the Indian community.
Yes, because we go under the generic name.
Yes, well, because we sell the cuisine of all of India, it's not just Bangladesh. But he says, what a remarkable thing that this community has achieved. We're having single-handedly changing the kind of the stomachs of a great nation. So the point is that we must appreciate what that community and our forefathers have done. Now, your point. Absolutely, I agree with you. We must be branching out to everything that is natural for a mainstream community. So, the professions, of course, we have been busy being doctors and engineers and lawyers because we understood those things.
Yes.
We now must be sort of chairman, we must be general, we must be diplomat, we must be all of those things. Nurses, we must
from
be bus
bedroom
conductors.
to boardroom.
Everything, okay? So all of that should be within our thinking. In businesses, of course, we've sort of almost monopolized an area, but in IT, our kids, I see very bright British Bangladeshi kids in IT. That's got to be an area we got to look at. In pharmaceuticals,
We need more people. We have some good, very
we
good.
have, but pharmaceuticals, IT,
Yes.
all sorts of media technologies, creative technologies. Bangladeshis are quite creative. That if you believe in any sort of characteristics.
No, somebody
like
was telling me that I think all the 5 well-known neurologists and neurosurgeons, they are all Bangladeshis.
yeah, it's very possible. I don't
Yes.
know of that, but it's very very possible. But what I've noticed is that somebody needs to establish the field, okay? Because one of the things we do
We
is
follow.
we copy. We copy very well, and this is not a bad thing. Copying sounds like a derogative thing to do, but it's not, because we learn by copying. The whole of the economy in Hong Kong, then China,
Even back
even
in
Japan.
Bangladesh, if you remember,
yeah,
the garment industry,
came through copying.
it came through copying.
Yeah, yeah.
And then now we are second
Largest.
RMG
Yeah,
producers.
so copying is good, and some people feel a little bit bitter that I was the first to open up this ceramics sector and now everybody's copying me. You should be proud of that.
Yes, that you provided the lead.
You provided the lead, and once we see leads, other people follow and they improve. So I think that your point is essential, that we must have the courage to try things new and to fail. You see, America, the greatest nation on earth, is built on trying, failing, succeeding.
Yes,
That's their model.
the
They're
American
proud of
dream.
failing. They say to you in the business schools, they teach you that if you're going to get anywhere, you must learn to fail.
True.
And I think we need to sort of take that on a little bit and not be afraid. No, you could try again.
Well, if you don't try, you can't fail, you can't succeed.
No, you can't succeed. and then success only has meaning
Yes.
if there's some failures.
Like they say, if you want to win the lottery, you buy the ticket.
Buy the ticket. I have bought so many tickets which I've never checked. I don't know if that happens to you. Do you ever buy tickets that you never check?
So many raffle tickets that people go to a party and they sell you
those,
raffle tickets.
those. No, I'm talking about lottery tickets. I must check some of this. Yeah.
We were talking about the future of Bangladeshi community,
Yes.
and we are very happy with this, as I said before,
Yes.
present perfect, and we hope that more will come. And one area I always feel is that in media, journalism, print
Yes.
journalism, particularly television, which is very visible, see. There are a few, but we need more.
Yes. Yes. And they have been leading lights, some of them.
Yes.
I mean, I can think of 2 that are kind of national. Lisa Aziz, who used to read the
Yes,
news, almost 20 years ago. She
Yes,
was
yes.
one of the first from
Yes.
minority
Connie
communities.
Huck,
And Connie, of course, is a celebrity.
she's still there.
Um,
Lisa now reads news at LBC.
Yes, and there's others. But you're right. I think more could...
Nina Hussain.
Nina Hussain. Yes, Nina Hussain. And there are others. There's lots of people on radio. But you're right, we could do more, because we're kind of natural at it. If you look at the number of TV channels that we have, it's a natural thing.
Yes.
We understand it. So we should do more. On the newspaper side, I think there is a gap there, but it's quite hard.
Yes. It's difficult. I mean, media world is very difficult to get
it is,
into.
it's very
see.
competitive.
You keep knocking the door,
Yeah.
head,
Yeah.
butts, and it doesn't help you.
No.
Would you like to say something to our younger British Bangladeshis in this country, how to go about their life, how to improve themselves, and not just be thinking about something, one line or one profession, but diversify and branch out? And if you want to, that is your camera.
Oh, I'm not sure I could do pieces to camera, so you'll forgive me. I think that requires
Okay.
professional acting skills, which I don't have. So, well, I think in a way, this whole conversation has been about your question.
Well, you have about 30 seconds to.
So, I would say, first of all, be clear about who you are, and I want you to be mainstream British in feeling as well as thinking. I want you to be clear about your identity, which is British or Bangladeshi origin. I want you to be ambitious. I don't want us to be limited by self-definitions of who we are and what we can be. We have proven, this community has proven, through people we've seen succeed either in medicine or law or whatever field you look, that it is possible for us. And the kids who are growing up from our community now, they need to, it's up to them to take it to the next stage. We talked about it's no longer good enough just to want to be the first of something from our community. We must be the best in our community.
We have almost finished our time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was nice having you here.
It was an absolute
It's a great
pleasure.
occasion to be your host.
Not well, the pleasure
Thank
was
you very
mine.
much.
I don't know
Thank
how
you.
an hour went by, but
Well,
it did
time
so
flies.
quickly. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.